Hari Om to all the wonderful Balakrishnas and Vivekanandas. I bow down to the Atma Jyoti, the divine light of the self in you. Let's continue our Mahabharata adventure. So we have seen so far that the war has become imminent. Sri Krishna, he went to Kauravas, but he could not succeed in bringing the peace. Duryodhana was adamant. He said, I will not give even an inch of land. So war had to happen. And when the war was about to begin, Arjuna got into a lot of confusion in the beginning. And that is when Sri Krishna taught him Bhagavad Gita, which is the greatest source of truth in this world. If there is anything that is to be offered as a gift to anyone, if you get a chance, please offer Bhagavad Gita, because that will make their life the most wonderful life. So therefore, when you're offering any gift to anyone, you have to give the best possible gift. And the best possible gift in this world is Bhagavad Gita. So now Arjuna is ready for the war. And the commander-in-chief for the Kauravas is Bheeshma, one of the greatest warrior. And Bheeshma was also a Ichha Marani. He can die only if he wishes to. That was the boon he had from all the good work he had done. Because his father Shantanu had offered him that boon. You can refer to the initial story where Devavrata, he becomes Bheeshma. So he was the commander-in-chief of the Kauravas. And on the Pandavas side, it was Drupada's son, Drishtadyumna, who was the commander-in-chief. And both the commanders had met and also drafted the rules of the war engagement. Though it was a war, there were a lot of rules they agreed that both the sides will follow. And you have also seen those rules. So now the war has begun. And war, as you know, is a very painful process for anyone who is involved. Because war means death, destruction, and crippling. And unfortunately, in this case, it could not be avoided. And it is said to be one of the greatest war, meaning at that time, so many people had gathered, so many kings from all around had gathered, and they were split on both the sides. Bheeshma was a very able commander-in-chief. And on the other side, Drishtadyumna and the Pandavas were equal match. Though they were less in number, they had the courage and greater skills. So every day, both the sides would fight. A lot of casualties would happen. And Duryodhana was getting very anxious because all he cared for was to win the war, to kill the Pandavas. So he would constantly come and taunt Bheeshma, saying, I thought you are the greatest warrior, but look how Pandavas are winning the war. So many of the Kauravas getting killed. What are you doing? Like that, he would come and insult Bheeshma. Bheeshma would tell him, Duryodhana, I've told you even before the war began that the Pandavas are invincible, but you did not listen to me. I am doing my best. I can maybe remove some of the Pandavas' soldiers, but the Pandavas themselves are invincible. And more than that, they are right in this war. So they are on the side of the Dharma. So it is extremely difficult, and none other than the great Sri Krishna Bhagavan is with them. So it's extremely difficult to decimate them. I am doing my best. Like that, Bhishma would tell Duryodhana. But Duryodhana still would not understand. He would think Bhishma is trying to insult Duryodhana. Bhishma is trying to discourage Duryodhana. And Karna, his dearest friend, had taken the oath that until Bhishma is the commander-in-chief, he would not wage the war. So even Karna was not in the war during that initial days. A lot of casualties were happening on both the sides. A lot of people were getting killed. Even Yudhishthira was getting worried. So the 9th day, already so many deaths and casualties, but still there was no clear winner. So at the evening, when the war ended, both the sides would rest so that any casualties can be taken care of. And also, one of the rule of the war was that both the sides can meet anybody from each other's side if they wanted to exchange. So that is how it was. During the day, they would wage the war. But if at all, let's say the Pandavas wanted to meet Bhishma or Drona or anybody, they could walk over to the Kaurava side and there would be no harm done, and vice versa. So today, Yudhishthira went to meet Bhishma. In his mind, the only thing that was bothering is, it is causing so much of death, but there is no clear winner emerging. So he went and bowed down to Bhishma, and Bhishma greeted him, and Bhishma blessed him to be the victorious. Then Yudhishthira asked, "Oh Bhishma, oh my great-grandfather, how can I win this war? You blessed me to be the victorious, but I don't see a way. You are one of the greatest warriors, and we see no way to be victorious over you. I don't think we can win this war. Please help me. Tell me how I can win this war." Yudhishthira asked Bhishma. See the greatness of Bhishma. Bhishma then said, "Yudhishthira, as long as I am there, yes, it is very difficult for you to win the war. I don't wage the war against if there is a woman or if there is someone who has no weapons. I know on your side there is Shikhandi, who is a neutral gender. If Shikhandi comes in front of me, I will not wage the war. And maybe you can use that opportunity to be victorious, to remove me. And then you can proceed with the rest of the war." So that idea Bhishma only gave. And now the 10th day war began. And now Shikhandi was in the Arjuna's chariot, because Krishna had already arranged all this. And in front of Bhishma, they both went. When Bhishma saw Shikhandi, he put down all his weapons. Shikhandi was none other than the Ambe, who had been kidnapped by Bhishma earlier from Kashi Raja. And he wanted her to marry his brothers. But you may recall that she wanted to marry a different king. But that king, because she was taken away by Bhishma, had rejected her. And she had come and asked Bhishma to marry her. And Bhishma by then had taken the oath that he will remain unmarried throughout his life. So he reminded her, but she would not give up. And because Bhishma rejected, she got very upset. So before killing herself in the fire, she had taken the oath that I will be reborn and I will be the cause of your death. So that is who Shikhandi was. So when they appeared in front of Bheeshma, Bheeshma put down his weapon and said, I will not wage the war. Krishna said to Arjuna, Arjuna, now put all your arrows to Bheeshma. Arjuna was little doubtful. But Krishna said, see, you did not ask Bheeshma to put down the weapons, but he put down the weapons. So it is the right time. You are right now in conflict with Bheeshma. So go ahead and decimate him with the arrows. So then Arjuna took his arrows and put so many arrows that Bheeshma fell down on a bed of arrows. When Bheeshma fell down like that, both the sides got terrified. Everybody stopped the war and immediately rushed over towards the side of Bheeshma. But Bheeshma was unaffected. Bheeshma then asked Arjuna, please put 2 more arrows so that they become my bed. They become my pillow. So then Arjuna shot 2 more arrows in such a way that they became the pillow for Bheeshma. Bheeshma said, see, I am a Ichha Marani. Though now I am removed, I no more can wage the war. I don't want to die now. I want to die when the most precious time called Uttarayana Kala begins. Until then, I will be alive. But you, please continue the war. And again he asked Duryodhana, Duryodhana, you have one more chance. Please listen to what Krishna and the Pandavas are saying. You can now at least stop the war. But Duryodhana said, oh, Pitamaha, I will not give up. I will continue the war. I still have so many warriors on my side. Because now, in his mind, Duryodhana was thinking, now that Bheeshma is gone, Karna will come to the war, and Karna is the greatest warrior, and he will decimate the Pandavas. So, like that, unfortunately, though many chances were given, somehow Duryodhana continued to wage the war. So this is how Bheeshma, as the commander-in-chief of the Kaurava's army, began, and on the 10th day, his end came in the war. So my dear children, I will stop the story here. We will continue our adventure of the Mahabharata in our next episode. Till then, Hari Om.